everyone, it's Ashley and today I am finally bringing you my July wrap-up. This is very, very late. It's already mid-August. I apologize, but I've been super busy, but nevertheless, here are all of the books that I read in the month of July. Before I start, I am in fact wearing a Breakfast Club t-shirt. The last time that I wore this shirt in a video, everyone commented in the comments down below and asked like if it was a Breakfast Club shirt and all of that kind of like fangirling craziness, which I understand because Breakfast Club is one of my favorite movies of all time. I got it from Hot Topic last Christmas. If in fact Hot Topic is still selling it, I will leave a link to it in the description box down below, so look for that. Okay, so July was a huge reading month for me. The 7 and 7 readathon happened in July and I was a host for that, and you had to read 7 things in 7 days, which really helped. But in total I read 4 novels and 12 graphic novels, totaling to 16 things in the month of July, which is crazy, but I'm super proud of myself, and here are all of those things. Okay, so first we have the second volume of The Wicked and the Divine called Fandemonium. I actually don't have a physical copy because I ended up giving it to one of my best friends who hadn't read it yet and just couldn't obtain a copy, so I just kind of gave it to her and figured that I would buy myself another copy at a later date, which I haven't done yet. But I did read it and it was amazing. I think I left like a brief review on Goodreads for that book. My Goodreads is always linked down below if you want to check out what I've been reading and my reviews of those things. The next thing I read was Colorless Sakura Tazaki and His Years of Pilgrimage by Murakami, and I really liked this book. I think I gave it a 4 out of 5 or a 4.5 out of 5. It was so well written. It was very literary in the sense that not a lot happened, but the fact that it was so well written just intrigued me enough to constantly be reading it, and I like this book enough that I will probably be picking up a lot of other Murakami books. Then we have Rat Queens Volume 2, The Far-Reaching Tentacles of Nargoth. I don't know if I put this in my June wrap-up, but I actually read it on July 1st, so technically it was a July book. I don't know. I really liked this. I found that the storyline was really cool. I really like Rat Queens. I find that it's basically just a book of kick but females, so if you're into that, I highly recommend reading this. It's like D&D with 5 major female characters that are super awesome. Then I have a book that I loved this month, and that is Everything by Nicola Yoon. This book was so good, guys. I wasn't expecting it to be as good as it is. I figured it was just going to be one of those books that has a gorgeous cover. Like, yes, just let's appreciate this cover for a second. But it wasn't. It was a book that had a gorgeous cover and an extremely gorgeous plotline and some really awesome characters that were very well written. Yeah, I think I gave this book a 4.5 out of 5, or I think I gave it a 4.5 out of 5. I did see the end coming, but then again, it is really hard for a book to surprise me that way. I generally do see the ends coming, but it didn't take away from the novel. I still really liked this. Then we have one of my favorites of the year, obviously, and that is Standoff by Andrew Smith. I received this for review from Simon & Schuster Canada. Thank you again, Simon & Schuster Canada. But I adored this, obviously. As you guys know, if you've been watching my channel for a while, I loved Winger by Andrew Smith. This is the sequel to Winger, and it was still amazing. I thought that it would kind of die off and wouldn't be as good as Winger, and that being said, I did like Winger a tiny bit more than this one, but I still adored this novel. It was so good. If you have been looking forward to this, just know that it's not going to let you down. And then I read Infinite Vacation by Nick Spencer and Christian Ward. I adored this. I think I talked about how much I adored this in my graphic novel haul for July, but it's so good. It's really hard to find. I had to special order it from a comic book shop to obtain it, but it was so worth it, and the artwork is just, I really like it. It's very bright and colorful and different, and yeah, and also just the plot line of this is just so cool. So cool. I loved it. I gave it 5 out of 5. I would highly recommend it if you're looking for something that is a little bit different and off the beaten path. It is kind of gory. When you read the description, you don't expect it to be kind of horror gory-ish, but it is just ever so slightly, so just prepare yourself for that. Next, I have Volume 1 of Odyssey, which is by Matt Fraction and Christian Ward, who is the same artist from Infinite Vacation. I had really high hopes for this, and it kind of let me down. It wasn't that it was bad, it was still good. I will still read the rest of the series. I do like it, but I ended up giving it 3 out of 5 because I think I just had hopes that it was going to be this like crazy amazing thing because Matt Fraction does sex criminals and Christian Ward did Infinite Vacation, and I had these really high hopes, but it was a little bit confusing at first, and generally I'm fine with confusing. I love Morning Glories and it's basically just a slew of confusion, but this one was more confusing, like I just didn't really understand. That being said, I will read the rest of it and I am excited to read the rest of it. I actually have hopes that it will get better because the end of this volume was a lot better than the beginning. Then I read another 5 out of 5 book from July. July was actually an amazing month for like highly rated books for me, and that is The Amazing Spider-Man Volume 3 Spider-Verse. I loved this so much. I knew I would love it because, as you guys know, I love Spider-Man. Spider-Man is my favorite superhero. And this is basically just like all the spider people put into one, but the story was so cool and the storyline was cool and all the characters were really cool, and it just, it met my expectations, which was really, really nice. So if you were thinking about picking this up, I would recommend it because it did not let me down. Then I read the first volume of The Woods. I just read the first 4 issues. I lent the first issue to someone, so I don't have it on me. And I adored this. Someone recommended it to me and said that if you like Morning Glories, you will like The Woods, and they were so right. It's very Morning Glories-esque. However, they actually give you more information in The Woods than they do Morning Glories, so if that's what you don't like about Morning Glories, I'd recommend this. I gave this a 4.5 out of 5. I really, really, really liked it. Okay, and everything else that is in this wrap-up is basically my 7 and 7 readathon wrap-up, because here are all of the 7 things that I read during the readathon, which ended at the end of the month. So first, I read The Woods Volume 2 and 3, i.e. the 8 issues that compile those 2 volumes, and both of these also got 4.5 out of 5s. I loved them. I love the storyline. I love the characters. I love where it's going. It's so cool and different, and it's very, very unique, and I really, really like it. Then I read The 100 Day 21, which is the second book in the 100 series, and I gave this a 3.5 out of 5. I did really like it. I still love the characters. I still love the plotline. I'm still intrigued by the story, even though I watched the show. It just didn't like blow me away, but it's still totally readable. And next we have another 5 out of 5 graphic novel, and that is Amulet Volume 1. I loved this so much. I can't even explain to you how much I loved this. People have told me, multiple people have told me that I would love this and to try it, and I just didn't really trust them. But honestly, for a graphic novel that was made for 9-year-olds, I adore this, like, a lot. Like, it's basically like a newish Narnia, but totally bomb with like really cool scientific inventions, and just, I loved it. I would recommend it. And then I read Oddly Normal Volume 1. This is another graphic novel for 9 to 12-year-olds, like middle grade. I loved this. I think I gave it a 4.5 out of 5, or maybe even a 5 out of 5. If you were a person who watched Halloween Town on Family Channel ever, then you will love this. It's very Halloween Town-esque. It's about a girl who has a dad who's human and a mom who's a witch, so she has like green hair and ears. It's good. Highly recommend. I really liked it and I can't wait to read more. Then I have Miss Marvel Volume 2 Generation Y. I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. I really, really, really liked it. I just kind of, again, like I expected more from it, and it kind of just like, it was good, but it didn't quite meet that mark. But I feel like if I went into it with less expectations, it would probably be a 5 out of 5. But I really, really liked it, and I would recommend it if you liked the first one to keep going, and I've heard good things about the volumes going forward from this one, so I'm looking forward to picking up Volume 3. And last but not least, I read Ant-Man Volume 1 Second Chance Man. I read this after watching the movie, which I loved, and I really, really liked this. I think I gave it a 3.5 or a 4 out of 5. I really liked it. It did a really good job at setting up the Scott Lang from this new world, and I'm excited to read forward. And also Nick Spencer wrote it, so it had that like quirky, spunky charm to it that I really, really like, so highly recommend if you like the movie and or you want to kind of get to know Ant-Man a bit more. I can't even pull all these books up to show you. I can't believe this is a wrap-up and not a haul. Oh my god, this is so heavy. It's so big. Okay. Oh my gosh. So that is my July wrap-up. If you have read or want to read any of these, comment down below and let me know. And if you have a video or a blog where you post your wrap-ups, leave that linked down below because I want to check that out. And other than that, I will see you guys soon with another video. Happy reading. Bye!